Wyatt family is going to face off against Big Show, Kane, and Ryback. They're calling it the Clash of the Titans, essentially, because they, gotta give it something. It's not like the feud actually matters at all. But this sort of kills one of the ideas I had, thinking that they were going to do at WrestleMania. I thought that there was a good chance that we would get the Wyatt family in an 8-man tag. If we're getting a 6-man tag now, we're not getting that 8-man tag. So the first thing I can think of when it comes to this match is that Fastlane doesn't matter. This could be fucking up WrestleMania. I'm worried real bad right now. This is going to turn into Brock Lesnar versus all 4 members of the Wyatt family.
It's definitely going to be Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar, and that's definitely going to be the hill that he has to overcome. It's the story they've been paid. Right now, they're trying to get you to forget about Bray versus Brock.
Right.
Because when he interrupts in the main event, it's going to be raw, so epic.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I didn't see this coming since fucking February.
Maybe he'll have a fucking hologram. That'll be really neat, right?
Maybe Brock Lesnar picks up a TV and it explodes.
Ugh.
So Wyatt family has to look strong. That's why they're beating these 3 people. They're 3 of the biggest guys on the roster, and surprisingly enough, Bray Wyatt's not wrestling. It's Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper. So Rowan will get his ass beat. That's what he's there for. Harper will do the majority of the match, and Strowman will kind of lumber around and go like, "Bah."
He'll hug someone, the referee will go, he's out, and it'll be done.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that guy's going to be Ryback.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not going to be Big Show. He's not going to be the one taking the pin.
Oh, no, the only reason I want it to be Ryback is because he's the only fucker that can sell out of the 3 of them.
That's true. But I'm worried that this match is going to be sucking really, bad from the beginning to the end. Just a lumbering, blah kind of a match. And setting up something that I don't want to see, too. Because it'll be like, oh, the Wyatt family is so fucking strong. Can't wait to see them interfere later on. And
That's why I think this is going to be either the first or second match.
Mm-hmm.
So, we forgot about the Wyatt family.
If they put it on the first match, it'll kill the crowd. It needs to be second or third.
Second or third, I think.
Yeah.
See, it all kind of depends. I mean, right now I have this listed. I usually try to put the pay-per-view in the order that I think it's going to go. This time around, I was like, nah, I'm not going to bother all that much. But we know that the pre-show match is the U.S. title match. We know that the Cutting Edge Peep Show thing's going to come in a position where it's like a bathroom break. They have to. I mean, they're ridiculous if they put well, now we're at the bathroom break thing. We're going to do Owen Ziggler or Jericho Styles. It's just not going to happen. They've spent too much time focusing on the Divas to not put them in that match now, in that position, I mean. So Cutting Edge things got to come around the second to third last match of the night. Wyatt family's got to be second or third for the beginning of it. I don't know what they're going to start the pay-per-view off with, and I'm thinking they're going to start it off with Ziggler and Owens. Go with that. Go into maybe the Divas match next, the tag match, then the Wyatt family after that.
Can we just have the main event on first and then not watch the rest of the show? That'd be
Well,
so
we got to
much
see
easier.
Styles Jericho.
Just put it on Mania. It's cool.
Just do recaps of different shows on Fastlane.
Yeah.
To be like, remember that really funny time in this show? And
Doesn't it just feel like such an unnecessary pay-per-view? I really don't think that we need a filler show here, because even when it was No Way Out, there was an issue that the WWE would always have to make the Royal Rumble winner put his shot on the line, just because, lol, here's my shot on the line.
Mm-hmm.
You bring it up there's another number 1 contender match this year. That's always been the case, though. People always put their shot on the line or the titles on the line. It's always been a dumb pay-per-view. At the end of the day, the Royal Rumble should cement who the champion is and who the challenger is, and then you've got a 2-month build, so by the time you get round to it, it's going to be epic.
Right. Because you can do shit that if you need to change something on the fly, you can change it on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing stopping you from we just had the Intercontinental Championship change hands this week. Clearly that didn't change hands because they were just well, we want Owens to lose to Ziggler and then he'll lose it back to Ambrose or whatever. No, they want Owens to go into WrestleMania as the champion. Didn't stop them from doing it, and it didn't force them to make that match happen at Fastlane. So I don't see the point in Fastlane anymore. And
It's
Wyatt
just a
family
dumb
versus Big
pay-per-view.
Show and all that, we already know that the Wyatt family is strong. We know that they could have beaten them on a match on Raw and it would have looked okay.
Here's the thing. Why is Brock Lesnar wrestling on this pay-per-view? It's not to further the WWE title picture. It's to get beaten up and get screwed.
Yeah, it's to set up his story for WrestleMania.
Yep.
Well, you know what? They already set up his story. It was called the Royal Rumble. He should be pissed off alone the fact that he didn't have a shot, and that was his feud going into WrestleMania. This is so unnecessary.
Kind of like adding an extra step for no reason. Because he lost his match at the Royal Rumble. You know,
I have a reason why they still do a pay-per-view in between. Because of the network. They don't want anybody to cancel the network if there's a month without a pay-per-view.
See, that's why I think they should have done something different.
I think it's a lot more simplistic than that. I don't think they know how to not do it. Because that's always been the formula for them. They do 3 to 4 weeks, then they have a pay-per-view. You think they can plan a story out for 2 weeks? They change that shit on the day.
See, I think this is a situation where they would have been much better off not necessarily doing something so drastic like that cruiserweight tournament we were just talking about in the hot tags. But if you did something where you didn't rely on, let's use the same talent and either repeat matches that we're going to see from the Royal Rumble or do something ahead of time that we're going to see at WrestleMania or whatever like that, do something totally different. Like, why not make it to where that NXT show was around this time instead of doing it in Dallas? I mean, you still could do a thing in Dallas, but it could just be a normal NXT show. Or you could do maybe some kind of a tournament. Like, hell, you want to do something really interesting? You do a tournament, like not a yearly thing, but this year they could have had like a weird situation happen with the US title or the Intercontinental title or the tag title for that reason. And you could have done an entire tournament of the mid-card guys. No main event people. People would have tuned in. Would have been interesting.
That actually worked out. You remember when Elimination Chamber stopped being a big pay-per-view and just became an odd special?
Yeah.
That only aired on the network. That didn't air on pay-per-view. And that was a great fucking night. You had Ryback finishing the night off strong.
Yeah, and if they don't worry as much about pay-per-view buy rates because people aren't buying them, they're just using the network, then you don't have to advertise it in the same way that you used to advertise that. Shit, you could do something where it's not even a wrestling thing. You could have, like, the big thing of the February is a special where, like, there's some kind of an interviews type of thing, like a backstage thing where we don't even know, like a real behind-the-scenes thing, and you get to see some different shit. You could do something where there's, like, this would be a kind of crazy idea, but, like, we had The Rock and Mankind in an empty arena match before. Who's to say we couldn't do one match thing like that on a pay-per-view and have that be something that would sell? I would be so much more down for that than just, well, we got to figure out some way for Wyatt family to wrestle. That sucks.
It does suck. It sucks a lot.
You know what? I just wish, like, they'd... Here's the thing, with WrestleMania, it's such a big show, they never really established the challenges for the lower card titles until, like, a couple weeks before. Why not use just a show like this just to establish number one contenders?
Right.
Make those titles mean something. Make your matches mean something. Get them ahead of time done. Don't just fucking pull this shit out last second. But that's why it's just a throwaway pay-per-view that don't mean shit. Just hurts the product.
Shit, you could do something real simple. Do WWE special, Beat the Clock. We're going to have 3 Beat the Clock challenges to determine who's going to wrestle for the US title, the IC title, the tag title.
The tag titles, yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to have 4? Do one for the Divas title.
No.
There you go. You have 4 Beat the Clock challenges. That can eat up a 2-hour time spot because each one of them can have like a half-hour thing, like the scramble kind of a concept or whatever like that. And you're good. And then you don't have to have Brock Lesnar fighting. You don't have to have the Wyatt family looking strong. You don't have to have Cutting Edge Peep Show. Like, blah.
It just feels like they're stalling.
Mm-hmm. In the Wyatt family situation, it's like, yeah, if I was a little kid and I didn't know exactly what was happening, I might look at it a little bit differently. But, I mean, we're all in agreement here. This entirely exists for the Wyatt family to beat people so they can look stronger when they beat Brock Lesnar up later on.
Yep.
So why even bother watching it? Why not just?
It could have
pet
just,
Leggo's
and this
cat?
could have been established on Raw. All you had to do is have Brock Lesnar come out with Heyman. Heyman going, "You broke the first commandment. Thou shalt not provoke Brock Lesnar." Blah blah blah. And then Lesnar tells him to shut up and just wants to kick their ass.
Yeah.
And then he gets beaten down because of the number odds, and that's the story you tell.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to go to the trouble of having another fucking event.
I'm still holding out the tiniest little bit of hope that the way that they booked this thing here, which is going to be, it would be stupid anyway, but that maybe, since there's no like real setup for Undertaker right now, if we can't get John Cena and Undertaker, I don't know what the hell they're going to do with him.
Oh, you don't know? Strowman. That's easy. That's
maybe
definitely...
they're compromised though.
Okay, the day he came into the WWE, everyone went, "Oh look, that's Undertaker's opponent."
But see, I just can't imagine them being able to do that. And I'm hoping maybe what they're going to do as like an alternative is the fact that Bray Wyatt's not wrestling in this match and it's the other three. Maybe the Wyatt family brings Bray Wyatt into the fold. Maybe Undertaker makes the save. Maybe we don't get them interfering with Brock Lesnar. And then maybe, fingers crossed, because there's nothing set up for Dean Ambrose right now, we get Ambrose Lesnar at WrestleMania.
I'd love Ambrose Lesnar at WrestleMania, but the way they're booking that feud, it makes me think, well, you know what, we're getting into that later. So
yeah. But that's like, the one thing is, if the Wyatt family has this match, and they beat Big Show, Kane, and Ryback, and it just ends, and there's no Undertaker, I'm going to be so sour. Because I don't even want to see that match. But I would much rather see that match than to see Undertaker Strowman separate, or Brock versus Bray. Like, I have no interest in Brock versus the Wyatt family now. So if it gets Brock away from that, go ahead and do it. You know? Still, I would rather see Wyatt family versus League of Nations, but they're not going to do that.
So I think we're all in agreement that the Wyatt family win.
Definitely here.
Yep.
If anything other than that happens, I'm going to be as shocked as any other possible match that could happen tonight.
They're just trying to make Wyatt's look as strong as possible by putting them up against the three biggest guys.
Yep. So we have one more match to talk about. Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. #1 contenders match coming up in part 11. Stay tuned. If you're on YouTube, click on that and we'll see you there.